guys, and welcome back to the channel. As always, thank you so much for clicking on this video and checking out my content. I always appreciate that. So we're going to be talking about the newest Star Wars series to land on Disney+, The Skeleton Crew. And the first social media reactions for the first 2 episodes have now landed online. So in this video, we're going to check out those early social media reactions and read some details and information surrounding the Skeleton Crew series. So let's jump into this article here from comicbookmovie.com and see what's going on with these reactions. Skeleton Crew first social media reactions reveal what to expect from Disney Plus's latest Star Wars series. So we have some details and information here regarding the show, but we're going to dive straight into the reactions first, then we'll go back and have a read of the information after. So let's start off with this one from Phil Roberts. John Watts' Skeleton Crew is a blast. The series effortlessly captures the spirit of the Goonies to deliver a fun, kid-centric Star Wars adventure. It's an energetic, fun story that expands the sandbox with its light-hearted tone, great score, great performances, and solid start. So, from Thomas, the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew are a lot of fun. The series brings a refreshing perspective by expanding the Star Wars universe in exciting new ways. It's a love letter to children's adventure films from the 80s. From Mark Newbold, couldn't be happier with what I've seen of Star Wars Skeleton Crew so far. Energetic, snappy, warm, genuinely funny, pacey, engaging. I really enjoyed it. GFFA fans will quickly embrace it, and it's a perfect jumping on point for new fans, so it's a win-win. From Nicola Austin, the first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew are so much fun. Think 80s Amblin adventure vibes with a sprinkle of early Mando. The first episode admittedly takes a while to kick into gear though. I would generally do anything for Neil. What an absolute cutie. Okay, from Neil Vag. The first 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew recapture the magic of the 80s Amblin movies. It's the franchise at its most family friendly, embracing its silliness alongside wondrous sense of adventure. A brilliant Star Wars introduction for any younglings in the audience. We can tweet, coming from Brandon Norwood, we can tweet about Skeleton Crew. Nice to have a sense of wonder in the Star Wars universe, having kids be the center, if this helps greatly. From Kieran, I saw the first 2 episodes of Star Wars Skeleton Crew early thanks to Disney Plus UK, and it did not disappoint. A surprising opening, a wonderful cast, and an intriguing hook for the rest of the series. Can't wait for more, we'll be covering fully at Sci-Fi Fiction. From Chris Connor, okay, thought Skeleton Crew was pretty solid, great score and looking forward to seeing more of Jude Law, likeable ensemble and refreshing family-friendly series, which really suits the release window. Review to follow at Flickering Myth, Disney Plus and Star Wars UK. From Mark Newbold, couldn't be happier. I think we've already read that one. Yeah, they've just accidentally duplicated this one, so let's go past that one. So that's kind of all the early social media reactions we have here so far. So most of them are saying that it's, you know, a callback to the 80s vibe, the kind of children's adventures, the Goonies kind of, it's like a Goonies adventure set in the Star Wars universe, basically here. So let's go back up to the top and read some of this information. Keep going. So the first 2 episodes of Star Wars Skeleton Crew were screened in the UK this weekend, and that means we have the first reactions from fans, which we just read, influencers, and at least a couple of critics. These are overwhelmingly positive, as you'd expect from this type of screening. Yeah, I mean, people get invited to these limited screening events at cinemas to watch these kind of series. They get caught up in the hype. There's all the free merchandising. It's a big event where you go out and watch the first 2 episodes of a Star Wars series. So they're caught up in the hype. They're more likely to give a positive review. Also, there's that kind of bias where they want to give a positive review because they're more likely to get invited back for the next event, whereas if they put something negative, then Disney might kind of blacklist them and not invite them back. So there is a kind of a bias at these kind of events. So these positive reviews, you know, take it with a grain of salt, at least for the meantime. And by the way, it's the first 2 episodes, so even though they're saying the first 2 episodes are great, we don't know if the rest of the series is any good. By episode 3, 4, or 5, the show could completely derail itself. It could jump off a cliff. It could explode into 1,000 pieces, like we've seen countless times with other Disney Plus series, so just bear that in mind as well. However, we'd be remiss not to point out that critics sent screeners for the first 3 episodes are not allowed to share reviews and reactions until 9 PM Eastern Time or 9 PM Pacific Time, which is when the first 2 installments hit Disney Plus. This means that critics of the likes of The Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Rolling Stone, and other respected outlets won't be able to share their verdicts on social media or reviews until people are already watching the show. So the big reputable outlets like The Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Rolling Stone, they can't put out their reviews until the first 2 episodes have debuted, which is going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So bear that in mind. If you're looking for the fully fledged kind of reviews from the big outlets like Hollywood Reporter, Variety, you'll have to wait until the first 2 episodes debut before you can read their kind of reactions and reviews. But at the meantime, we have these kind of social media influencers here with their kind of early reactions, which give us a kind of a bit of a sample of what we could expect from these first 2 episodes. But again, like I said, it could be kind of biased reviews based on them attending this event, being caught up in the hype, not wanting to piss off Disney and being invited back for the next event. So, you know, kind of factor that in as well, guys. So I'm just saying here. This means, so the buzz surrounding Skeleton Crew is relatively minimal, something that likely wasn't helped by the mixed response to The Acolyte. The Acolyte was probably one of the worst shows I've ever seen, not just in the Star Wars universe, just period. Like, it was so bad. Earlier this year, then, there's the fact that despite the show taking place around the same time as The Mandalorian, it looks to be a standalone adventure with few ties to what's happening in the wider Star Wars galaxy. I think that's actually a good thing, it being a standalone project, not having Skywalkers in it, not being attached to, you know, the dark side and Darth Vader, kind of getting away from that and being its own separate kind of standalone project. Almost kind of like an Elseworlds project. I think that's a good thing, and I think Star Wars needs to do that a bit more. Kind of have these standalone projects that don't tie back to anything else, kind of make them separate in their own thing. I think that's a good thing for Star Wars, and I think they need to do more of that, in my opinion. So, still, judging by these early reactions alone, it sounds like the fun 80s Amblin-inspired romp that we expected when it was first announced. Whether the fans want Star Wars X Stranger Things remains to be seen, though it sounds like the series is aimed at a much younger audience. So, yeah, Star Wars mixed with Stranger Things, mixed with the Goonies, mixed with 80s Amblin vibes. That's kind of what we're getting here. Adventure, kind of kid-centric. So, if you're not into like a kid-centric Star Wars series, then this definitely isn't going to be for you. If you're not into the Goonies and stuff that's kind of centered around that kind of material, then this might not necessarily be for you. I'm not normally the target demographic for that kind of thing, but like I say, as it's Star Wars, it's always going to pique my interest, no matter how good or bad it looks in the marketing. It's something I always check out the first. I'll at least give it 1 or 2 episodes, and then if I don't like it, I'll just stop watching it. But I will at least try to give it, you know, a reasonable chance to like it. But guys, that's kind of where we are. So that's the early reactions there from some social medias and influencers who saw a early screening this weekend in the UK for the first 2 episodes of the Skeleton Crew. So, is this a show that you're looking forward to? Is it something that's on your radar? Will you be watching it when it debuts on Disney Plus later tonight? Or is it something you really don't care about? You're probably going to miss out on it. You're probably not going to bother, you know, wasting your time watching it. Whatever your thoughts are, guys, I'd love to hear it. So jump into the comment section and let me know. Thanks so much for watching as always. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe. I would love to have you here as a subscriber if you're not already one, guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. I know who you are. And I will see you in the next video.